In the headlines, the UWP outlines the priority issues for election 2020 as it presents its team of 21 candidates. Prime Minister Skerrit dismisses the UWP's candidates and the proposals for election 2020 as recycled. And the local businessman says let LIAT fail, whilst Richard Branson expresses interest in investing in the cash-strapped airline. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
Craft is a certain art that creates expression, and one of the things that we do as craft persons, we transfer that expression of self, that expression of value into our products. It's like coming from within, coming from everything that I have and feel, and then it comes out perfect. It's been over 18 years since I've been involved in craft. And it's all through experimenting with different materials, different products. I use a lot of vegetable tanned leather, which is the rawhide, to do my craft. And I get the opportunity to decorate it and to bring out my creation and my spirit within the craft. The work is generally handmade, and that is a unique and authentic thing about craft, is that there's your fingerprint, and a lot of people appreciate the fingerprint of the artist. One of the greatest joys is actually seeing a satisfied customer, especially for a unique piece, and they're like, yes, that is for me, and that is mine. That is really a joy. I am proud to be part and parcel of this big engine that fuels the island and the tourism industry. My name is Vanessa Lisa Winston, and I am happy that tourism is my business.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, Leader of the Parliamentary Opposition, Honorable Lennox Linton, has again outlined what will constitute some of the priority policy areas for a UWP government.
On Sunday, the UWP presented its team of 21 candidates expected to contest the 2020 general election. Leader Lennox Linton spoke of the international airport and other areas of development which a UWP administration would give priority attention. Mr. Linton believes an international airport would be Dominica's ticket to participation in the international trade of goods and services. He does not believe Dominica can move forward without an international airport.
We say it a lot, but I say it again. We will construct an eco-friendly, state-of-the-art international airport. The state will pay the tuition fees of all the sons and daughters of Dominica attending the Dominica State College. We will criminalize the sale of diplomatic passports and the abuse and or misappropriation of revenues from the sale of passports. We will criminalize as well the discrimination and the victimization against citizens of Dominica, denied assistance from the public purse to which they're entitled for human development needs. We're not just talking, We're going to make it impossible for people to discriminate against you going forward. When we become the government, we will increase maternity leave for the women of Dominica, so that they have an easier time bringing the sons and daughters of this land into being and caring for them and nurturing for them. There'll be no issue about equal pay for the same work under our administration.
The UWP's full slate of candidates for the 2020 general election reads: Lennox Linton Marigot, Ezekiel Basil Wesley, Dr. Worrell Sanford Salibia, Clement Marcelin Viecas, Marcus Romain Cottage, Ernie John Finn Castlebruce, Francisca Joseph Laplaine, Pharaoh Coffey Grandfond, Rosanna Emmanuel Petit Savan, Dr. Sam Christian Soufre, Joshua Francis Roseau South, Glenroy Soso Coffey Roseau Central, Danny Luge Roseau North, Felix Thomas Maho, Monel Williams John Baptist St. Joseph, Nicholas George Colliho, Hector Sparks John Salisbury, Jefferson James Portsmouth, Davis George Paybush, Ronald Charles Roseau Valley, and Noreen John Granby.
In other top stories, the Dominica Labour Party train made another stop over the weekend for the launching of a very optimistic Octavia Teacher Bonnie Alfred for the Castlebruce constituency. Teacher Bonnie outlined a number of reasons why she believes she is the right candidate for Castlebruce at this time and will be successful.
I am going to win this election with you and for you, Castlebruce. I am going to win because of my plans, the Labour Party plans for the community. I am going to win because the Dominica Labour Party is a superior organization. Labour has proven that we can handle any crisis. Look at how we built back after Maria and after Erika. When people thought Dominica was finished, the Dominica Labour Party sprung into action, and the results have exceeded the expectations of all. I am going to win because our leader, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, has the capacity to lead. I am going to win because you who gave me to the Dominica Labour Party, you trust me and you know me because I have always been there with you. I am going to win because over the years we have worked together and gotten exceptional results. I am going to win because I'm the best person to lead Castlebruce at this time. I am going to win because the country is at a critical point in its development, and we cannot place it in the hands of people who cannot even be a good opposition. I am going to win because I want to be of service, not of change. Because I am the change the Castlebruce constituency needs at this time. I am going to win because I know the people of Castlebruce, the Castlebruce constituency, like those all around Dominica, want the work they see around them to continue, and they will vote for me because I represent the Dominica Labour Party, the only party who has a serious vision to improve the lives of all families in Dominica.
Prime Minister Skerrit told the gathering exactly how he felt about the promises that were being made to Dominicans by the UWP that same night at their meeting in Roseau.
Lennox Linton's great ideas, you would recall, came from Alan Chastenay's speech in St. Lucia. Do you remember that speech, ladies and gentlemen? That plagiarized speech by Lennox Linton. They had one good candidate in 2014. One single good candidate they had in 2014. And that candidate has since seen the light and is tonight seated on the platform of the Dominica Labour Party. So they are offering tonight a brand new second-hand slate of candidates as a fistful of stale, unattractive ideas, the vast majority of which has already been implemented by the Dominica Labour Party. There is little difference between the campaign promises of the United Workers' Party and the record of achievements of the Dominica Labour Party. 90% of what they say they will do, Labour has already done it or is in the process of doing it, ladies and gentlemen. The other 10% is unlikely ever to happen because they cannot say where the first dollar would come from to finance their pie in the sky ideas, ladies and gentlemen.
As far as the chances of the UWP's challenger in his constituency, the Prime Minister says he would be very disappointed if the UWP candidate fails to lose his deposit. In more developments, businessman Parry Bellot says it is time to say goodbye and replace the Caribbean airline LIAT.
It is widely believed that LIAT could not survive without a current plan to restructure the airline. The restructuring plan is designed by the Caribbean Development Bank. Antiguan Prime Minister Gaston Brown says Barbados has agreed to sell almost all of its LIAT shares to Antigua. Brown said Barbados was willing to sell all but 10% of its shares. Antigua and Barbuda currently holds 34% of LIAT shares. If it succeeds, Antigua would own 71% of the airline.
I'm one of those who believe that outside of the latest intervention of a certain Richard Branson, maybe it's time to really let LIAT die. Because this idea of always coming to get the other islands to put in money for an airline that is being seriously mismanaged and being protected by the host government, mainly Antigua, it's not fair on the other countries to be continually having to come forward. And that is why when they first allocated this 5.2 million to be paid by the regional countries who identified, 2 or 3 of them just flatly refused, notably St. Lucia, which would have had to make one of the biggest contributions. So they're not putting any more money in LIAT. Grenada was reluctant, but they have since come through. But I gather neither St. Vincent and Dominica, of course, came through. Again, LIAT is almost critical for its operation here, and I admire the Prime Minister for openly saying that is the reason why he made an initial investment and why he's going to ensure that LIAT keeps flying. I hate to disagree with the Prime Minister, but I believe in the long term we have to look at the alternatives.
British billionaire Sir Richard Branson is reportedly showing interest in LIAT. Sir Richard has been identified as a potential investor in the cash-strapped airline. He owns Virgin Atlantic and Virgin Galactic and is proposing a $7 million investment to save the 63-year-old LIAT from collapse. But on the issue of Antigua increasing its shares in LIAT, Parry Bellot is not a fan.
Quite frankly, I would hope Barbados does not sell any substantial number of its shares, or any of its shares. That's my personal view. Because we're already suffering from Antigua having the dominant say, because most of the employees and the planes are based there. Many years ago, we learned that it would be a lot more efficient for because of how it serves the islands, it would be much more efficient and cost saving if a lot of the planes were based in Barbados.
Bellot says Antigua would have none of that, as jobs would be lost.
They have been helping out because LIAT is critical. And, you know, quite frankly, if no LIAT, then what?
Maybe that's the point.
That's the
point. Critical LIAT is they cannot
exactly. Well, invest. We need the air access, all the islands, especially those like St. Vincent and Dominica, especially. Yes. But there's a model that we can consider adopting. British West Indian Airways, BWI as it was called, for years and years was losing money heavily. They tried all kinds of nonsense to try and get it going, but basically, between the unions and politics and so on, one of the governments took the bull by the horn and said, you know what, we're going to close it down. They closed down BWI. I don't know how long that took, may have been a month or 2, and we built a new airline. And of course, they had to pay all the redundancy for the workers and kind of thing. They rebuilt the airline, got rid of most of the excess planes, excess labor, you chose the right employees, and they built a new airline, Caribbean Airlines.
Bellot believes something similar could be done in LIAT's case.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Si vous avez une maladie HIV et de maladies sexuelles. Si ou pas protéger corps lors qu'un sexe avec plusieurs mondes, ça peut mettre la vie au gros danger. Ou peut exposer toute partenaire au poison et que ça qui peut venir avec maladie. Servez un condom chaque fois au qu'un sexe. Changer qui est important pour découvrir maladie à bonheur ou ça vivre en bonne santé même si on a une maladie HIV. Pour responsabilité, protéger corps et puis les autres. Examiner corps. Aider de bout si même maladie HIV et l'autre maladie sexuelle.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Welcome back. Discussions on the cassava project in the Colombia-Dominica territory have reached another level. This as Foreign Affairs Minister Francine Barron met with a team of Colombian officials recently. According to a press release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the delegation was led by Colombia's Foreign Minister, Dr. Carlos Holmes Trujillo Garcia. This is the second time a Colombian foreign minister has visited Dominica since the two countries established diplomatic ties in 1992. During the delegation's visit here, bilateral discussions were held on technical cooperation, security, disaster preparedness, health, and academic opportunities. Special focus was placed on the cassava development project in the Colombia-Dominica territory, which Colombia is supporting, and cooperation in the area of water resource management and skills training, among other matters of mutual interest. In terms of regional-level discussions, Dominica and Colombia touched on matters such as the first ministerial summit between Colombia and CARICOM, scheduled for 29th June this year. The two countries also discussed the Colombian CARICOM trade agreement, as well as matters relating to the OAS and Venezuela. During the meeting, Dominica and Colombia concluded the signing of a visa waiver agreement, which will allow for citizens of both countries who are holders of diplomatic, official, and ordinary passports visa-free access to each other's country. Foreign Affairs Minister Barron also pledged Dominica's and CARICOM's willingness to strengthen bilateral and regional cooperation with the Republic of Colombia. In more international relations development, Dominica has established diplomatic ties with yet another European country. The Central Eastern European country of Ukraine, with a population of 42.5 million, is the most recent nation to create a diplomatic link with Dominica. According to a press release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, on 25th April, a joint communique establishing diplomatic relations between Dominica and Ukraine was signed by a diplomatic convoy from each country during a brief ceremony at the Embassy of Ukraine. Subsequent to the establishment of diplomatic ties, the two countries signed a visa waiver agreement at a brief ceremony at the Dominica High Commission in London. Acting High Commissioner Janet Charles and her counterpart Natalia Galibarenko, Ambassador of Ukraine, signed an agreement on the exemption of visa requirements on 15th May. This agreement will allow citizens visa-free access to each other's country. Charles says this is the beginning of a new relationship and an opportunity for both countries to forge partnerships and cooperation in areas of mutual interest such as investment and tourism promotion. Both Charles and Galibarenko agreed to work more closely and to forge partnerships in these and other areas. Acting High Commissioner Charles also expressed Dominica's ongoing interest in continuing to build strong and enduring bonds of friendship with Ukraine and Europe. And work on expanding Dominica's landfill has begun. General Manager of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, Florian Mitchell, revealed that initial works on the landfill expansion project started earlier this year. He says work on the expansion project thus far is in keeping with recommendations from a World Bank team.
Well, the landfill, we have an expansion plan that we started just a couple months ago. And again, that was as part of recommendation from a World Bank consultant team, they came in, we're looking at the landfill, look at the feasibility, where if we were to expand, where should we go, what should we do, how should we do it. So we're just following those directives, and based on that, we should have about a good 5 to 10 years within the existing cell. When I speak cell meaning the area you're tipping, so no, you understand? In the landfill language.
The Folkole landfill sits on 17 acres of land. Mitchell explains the expansion project will happen concurrently with regular operations at the landfill. This in turn will extend the facility's lifespan by another 10 or more years.
We'd want to build another tipping area within the parameters of the landfill. So while you're using your expansion plan, it would allow you now to plan the design of another cell, meaning another line area where you could put waste, so on and so forth. So the expansion will allow us now to construct that other cell, probably that will give us another 10, 15, depends on the size that we're able to realize based on the confines of our space on the landfill.
Mitchell is imploring Dominicans to be mindful of how they manage their waste in order to help prolong operations at the facility.
So the more waste you could divert, you'll prolong the lifespan of the landfill. So if you can remove all your cardboard, all your glass, all your plastic, and again we have plans in trying to set up a material recovery facility. This is something futuristic we're looking at. A material recovery facility is basically an area before you tip your garbage. So instead of tipping, you put all your waste there, and then you sort out all the material that can be salvaged, the material that you could export, and realize some revenue out of that. So we're looking to implement something, most likely by the grace of God, if things work out the way we're looking at, probably this next fiscal period. Once things goes fine, then we should be able to implement and have that facility set up.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
To end the news, the headlines again. The UWP outlines the priority areas for election 2020 as it presents its team of 21 candidates. Prime Minister Skerrit dismisses the UWP's candidates and proposals for election 2020 as recycled. And the local businessman says let LIAT fail, while Sir Richard Branson expresses interest in investing in the cash-strapped airline. Feel free to contact us at news@morpin2k4.com. You can also access all past newscasts on the YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Levine, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.